welcome back to the channel. I'm Hank Strange. This is StrangerPalooza. Today we're at the 2025 open house in Elkhart. We're here in Rev Group with Ron Preston of Midwest Automotive.
Yes.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Good, good. I wanted to do a video where we took a quick look at some of the stuff you had and just talked about like what's going on, industry.
Absolutely.
What the folks out there should know.
So we already did a video on the Patriot MD3. Check that one out. But now we're going to check out some of the other stuff that we have here.
Yeah.
Right? And we can just talk about, you know, a little bit of what we got going on.
Yep.
You know, this is our Patriot MD2, okay, with a full lithium 1620 package.
Yep.
The largest in the industry. Got a full body kit on it going down the side. With our traditional inside, which is our walnut denali, satin, and milkweed, very popular. Right here, we have a Tannerite exterior with a milkweed and ash interior, MD4. And again,
Tannerite you've had, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tannerite's just a beautiful color.
Yeah. This is a nice interior for. What do you think about that,
Very
Lola?
Florida.
Lola likes that. Yeah.
Yeah. One of our best-selling interiors. 1620 lithium system on it. Full body skirt, you know, so very much a new 26.
Are there any changes for the Sprinter line so far from Mercedes?
Mercedes-Benz, in 25 model year, right, which is what everyone's running on right now, chassis-wise now. We upgraded the steering wheel, or Mercedes upgraded the steering wheel.
Okay.
So more traditional in the car sense.
Okay.
Heated steering wheel.
Okay.
And we also have wireless CarPlay now, which seems like it should have already had it. But it does now have it, right? So before you had to tether it, now we're doing wireless.
Wireless, cool.
Okay, so good there. And then they have made some adjustments to the latch on the power sliding door.
Okay.
Benefits anybody who is a current owner of a Mercedes with power sliding door. You know, occasionally it doesn't really latch correctly and you have to push on the rear window to help push it in all the way. Do know Mercedes-Benz has heard you, and
this is probably a different one, right? Because is this with the adjustments or not?
This one right here, this one is not with the adjustment. The ones we just passed for.
Yeah, okay.
And of course, this is our heritage, right? So one of the newest to the lineup. It's done very well for us, right? We're going to lamination from custom curved cabinetry inside.
Yep.
Right, very popular cabinet manufacturer by very high-end Class B manufacturers.
Yeah, there's lots of options here.
Lots of options.
So you can get a 144 Heritage, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, and our new Nordic Elm too, and I wish we had a Nordic Elm to show, but we sold them all at the Hershey show.
Oh, you did? Yeah,
so
that happens before this.
Yes.
And that's probably really big, open to
that.
the public, right?
It is. Yeah, it's one of the largest shows in the United States, that in Tampa. We were there with General RV and Fretz RV, two great partners, and we ended up selling 10 Midwest coaches there.
Okay.
So it was a great year.
What's the thing with the Nordic?
Nordic Elm.
Nordic Elm.
So it's a new color interior. That we're starting to add to our Patriot line and our Heritage line.
All right, I'll get some pictures from you or something to roll in here.
Think of a more of like a Scandinavian, gray interior. We got that quite a bit from customers looking by. People loved it because they're the first two to sell in each booth. Was the Nordic Elm. So that tells us a lot right there. And then after that, we were out of them.
More,
more
Nordic Elm. I don't know
Nordic Elms
where they're getting those elm trees from, but.
And then what we got here, guys, this is our Ford Patriot, 2026. We've talked about some of the improvements that have been made on this, such as the new Macerator pump, right? And a big benefit of that is no gravity, no having to get on your knees, right? So if you are somebody with bad knees, you're just basically bending down from the waist and you're pulling out the macerator, you're hitting the power gate valve, and just taking one of the hardest jobs when it comes to RVing.
Out of the way. Yeah. So your other vans, the Sprinters, had that. Now you've got it on the Ford.
Yes.
On the Transit, and that was like you had to find the space in order to put all that
stuff.
We did.
It was quite an engineering feat for a lot of our team there. To get this working correctly. But yeah, it's not just, like I said, the master aspect. It's basically the position of where you're grabbing everything from. And the Ford has always been lower to the ground, even in all-wheel drive compared to Mercedes. So gravity
this one's an all-wheel drive.
When it comes to the Ford.
On the Ford chassis, right? Any updates happening there? I do like that all of them that I see from you guys have the HID lights. I think that looks better, more functional.
We've always ordered fully loaded. It's why we haven't been able to build very many of them, right? But Ford is producing a lot more for us anymore, right? So we're getting a lot of those out there.
All right.
So yeah, talking about Ford enhancements, right? We got all 10-way power seats. We order all of our Fords that way.
Oh, you've got power seats?
Power seats from Ford in there.
Nice.
Of course, we have the LED headlamps.
Right.
3.5 EcoBoost motor, 400 foot-pounds of torque, 310 horsepower, made it to a 10-speed transmission to an all-wheel drive platform.
The most awesome chassis.
It is. So Hank, I drove my demo from Elkhart, Indiana here to Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Right. Were you thinking about me? How I always tell you how fantastic it was?
I will say it is a great driver.
So you're a taller guy.
Yes.
How was it comfort-wise?
It was great. Like, so I'm 6'5", right? If it fits me, right, we're going to fit 99% of everybody pretty well.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
There is more room up front in the Mercedes, no doubt about it.
For sure.
But you know what? For driving 9-10 hours straight like I did, wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It was a nice driving vehicle. So one of my big things, I'm a big van guy, obviously, just like you are. So when I see traffic going at a certain pace, I want to almost exceed that to prove a point. And I can definitely tell people behind me are like, I don't know if I'm moving slow or is he going fast?
Right, exactly.
You know?
So, well, all-wheel drive and then that power, it just does what it needs to do.
It was, phenomenal. Like, it was a little speed demon out there.
Yeah, I would like to see more of that. So inevitably here, I'm going to ask you, you know, on the Ford, on the Patriot Ford from you guys, when are we going to start seeing, like we were looking at some of the Safari stuff, when am I going to start seeing that show up here where you're making these like tougher, more rugged, a little bit more off-road?
So you know us, right? So our main vehicles are the Grand Touring coaches, right? And off-road is something that we do very well, right? When it comes to paints and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But it's not our main source, right? So now that we're getting more Fords in, right? And we're achieving basically our success rate when it comes to our Grand Touring, now, supplying the market that's asking for a Grand Touring, now we can ask and give more on the off-road aspect. Okay. Right? So it's more of just, the need is done there, right? Now we can have more chassis to fill that need. Okay. Right? So it's coming. It's coming up. 100%. The more Ford keeps rolling to us, the more success we keep having with it.
Right. So we'll start seeing some roof racks.
I think
some boxes on the back. Yeah. Maybe some lift kits or something like that.
100%. Ford will probably be a lot easier than Mercedes to work on that aspect.
We'll see pop-top tent.
I hope. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
You know, like I said, growing family here, I need someplace to put the kids. I understand that need out there.
Yeah. Do you want to look just real quick, because we were talking about the Macerator. I see it back here.
To me, it's such a big deal.
Yeah. Let's show it real quick.
So I already got it out, showing to a dealer earlier.
Yep.
So this is your position right here. I'm not down on my knees. I'm not getting underneath to move the gravity or pour any valves. I'm free pulling this way. I'm opening my gate valve. It is open, and I am turning it on.
That is awesome.
Off. Gate valve turned to off.
So much easier. How far does this come out? You don't have to show us here, but how many feet can you get?
Retract.
That's so awesome.
So.
And it's a matter of finding the space under there, right?
100%. So the Ford, like I said, is sitting lower. There is not as much room for us to work underneath there. So we did have to find a tunnel underneath there that did work. So we're actually going in the actual heel, like the roller.
The coil.
The coil, thank you. You see it directly on the Mercedes. From here, you got to look really deep, right? Or more towards the center of the chassis to find a spot for it.
Okay.
All right. So a little bit different on how we had to design it.
But good work.
Thank you.
Because now
it wasn't just me. It was a gentleman named Frank Adams in our factory.
Okay. Can you give out the design so other people can do that? Come on, Ron. Make it open source.
Sign your name here.
Yeah.
First.
Come on. You know.
And then
just
one
item
for
the van people, Ron.
For the van people, I got you, Hank.
Ron is like, no, I don't think so. Yeah. Let them do the hard work.
And then, one of these other changes, right? I definitely want to show when it comes to doing all of our own upholstery inside.
Right. This looks awesome, by the way.
Luxe
just walking
Cruiser.
Up. Yeah. Look at this.
Look at our now two-tone.
Yeah. Very nice.
Seats.
Oh, we going in here.
This is one of my little babies.
This is so cool.
I am so happy the way this turned out.
Yeah, I like it.
So, few different changes. Let me describe what we got going on here. So we have our new Azure seat design, modeled after the Bentley Azure design.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Then we have a two-tone insert. So we have black on the outside. We have our ginseng that we've always been using. We've done numerous videos in ginseng. But we have that on the outside, and then we did black piping and stitch matching the insert. And then what we did was we did a black ceiling and walls, right? and then did ginseng for the lowers.
Okay.
Okay. Now the wood inside here might look a little different to you as well. This is that ebony Denali,
but in
high
gloss.
gloss. Okay. This is a brand new wood to us.
Yeah.
This wood is significantly darker than black Denali.
Okay.
Okay. So it's really giving a real pretty rich
This
look.
looks like a Maybach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a gorgeous coach.
Yeah.
So just the idea of me describing this to a dealer 2 months ago when I put it in production, they were like, it's sold. I'm like, well, can you wait? Yeah, I have to show it to other people first.
Yeah. So what other? Let's go around back here.
Yeah. No, but while she's in there, I do want to describe something to you.
Okay.
So this is actually a different floor plan for us too.
It is.
So
because you got benches.
We have longer benches. So we've always had the benches, but these are longer on this one.
Okay. And they still have seat belts. So how many people?
Seat belts. So this coach is still 10.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, this is just a different floor plan. This is something people have asked for before. This also works very well if you had a Freedom package lithium to this coach.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
So what that does is make it into a RV style electrical. I mean, it's designed for stationary use.
Yeah.
In its current form, this is an A to B trip vehicle.
Yeah, for a big family, corporate, maybe teams. Yeah. I saw the Duke van. That looks great.
Yeah. No, we're so excited about Sunshine State, you know, starting their athletic series program down in Florida. So excited about that because this is what they're going to be selling mostly, right? This is something they're getting into in that side of the business, and it is a wonderful place to be. Okay. What's so interesting, I know you brought up universities, Duke, and all kinds of stuff, but most people buying this are actually, it's a replacement for their family's Escalade, Yukon XL, right?
Yeah, everyone could all hang out together.
Yeah. It's more of a family man, and this is his toy. Because you got to think the price on this is actually selling is probably right around $200,000, right? Range Rovers now are over 150. Cadillac Escalades are 150. So we're getting into a ballpark where
I've seen 180 easy.
Oh yeah, I mean it's just crazy pricing anymore.
Yeah, this is great.
One more item, like since we're here, I know I'm throwing so much information. I get excited.
Right. No, that's good.
You know, it's like the one inside, right? I probably don't let you talk at all. I apologize. Right?
That's good.
If you see that video, I apologize. I was excited. I'm excited about this one.
That's what we look for.
This color interior can be put on a Patriot, right? This is not just exclusive. I just wanted to, I don't know, go a little crazy, right? I just knew what we could do capacity-wise, and I think it's one of the best looking.
So you could get this in a Sprinter, get it in a Transit if you wanted.
Any of them.
Okay, cool. Okay, very nice. Let's go look at the back real quick, just to show that off.
Oh, and then one thing, I know you guys don't get many blacks down in Sunshine State territory, right? Being in Florida. So I want to show something that's kind of unique for us this year in 26. The painted cladding. Okay, so we have typically left the cladding on the side on our black vans, just the standard plastic black. Yeah. For the first time, we've actually gone to high gloss black on the sides here. So anybody that's bought our Ultimate Toys over the years, any of our other models, you'll notice you have a black coach. That line is a plastic black. As you can see now, it is a very clean high gloss black.
It's a clean look,
The reason why we didn't do it before—
It looks more limo-like now.
The reason why we didn't do it before wasn't because we were trying to be cheap. It was because the current process we were doing on painting the cladding, it showed every rivet going down the side.
Okay.
So we have found a way to make a high gloss black. Our painter did, Michael Bradley, phenomenal painter. It found a way to, and I gave him my request.
I didn't think about it until you said it.
And like I said, it's one of those things where if you're a Midwest owner, you're a Midwest enthusiast, you're like, wow, that looks great.
Yeah, that paint looks great,
So he figured out a way to get rid of those rivets going down the side and get that painted. Of course, you know, we painted the black now this year as well. The hood vents are painted. So this is a true painted black coach.
Yeah, it looks great.
And if you notice, it has the Onyx package.
So
everything. So the coach inside, right? We talked about the Onyx package there. The Onyx package removes all chrome from the outside. Okay, so the front grille is going to be painted black,
even
high
here,
gloss black.
The hinges.
Hinges are black. So all Mercedes emblems in the front are black. So just a really cool look, matching what the car industry is doing.
Yeah, love it.
And then let's show you some benefits of the Onyx package for the inside, such as the black toilet.
Okay.
Right? Really clean, really sharp look here. So just a real pretty coach. Just so glad how this turned out.
Yeah, this looks great. Yeah. So you could have the option here of having like storage back here instead, right?
Absolutely. That is one of those things that's going to be offered on the Athletic Series by Sunshine State.
Okay.
And then going down the side here, another big Macerator's everything, right?
Oh, so this has all that on it.
This has a macerator on board. So I just showed you how that worked on the Ford. And then right here, we have an exterior shower now. We never had an exterior shower on the Luxe.
Okay.
This is the exact same setup from the Patriot.
Ah.
So I am going to be able to do wash downs if I go to the beach or anything, right? So I don't have to track into the inside.
Okay.
Or maybe I'm at a tailgate, right? And I'm trying to clean out my cooler or something like that,
you spilled something. So
that's all going to be done right here now. So that's a big benefit for this year.
Okay.
I know a lot of people, they may have hidden stuff, but it is still gravity.
Okay.
Right? So this is a full electric system. Just makes sense for the name, right?
So on these models, what is it called again? Cruise? No, Luxe.
Yeah, so this is a Luxe Cruiser. So let's go through some of the things. So Luxe Cruiser, Day Cruiser, Patriot Cruiser are essentially the same model. Okay, right? Patriot Cruiser sold at our friend Sunshine State. Luxe Cruiser is another one of those names as well. Reason why is just different dealer aspects, right? Different categories. So that is why there is a different name.
Okay,
but they are essentially the same vehicle.
And then on these, can I get that gear? Can I get like a box if I want?
Yeah, it's actually becoming
pretty trendy.
That stuff? Yeah, so all that stuff we showed on our MD3 on the inside, right?
Right.
The Overland package for Midwest, the all-wheel drive, all those, the Freedom package, that can all be put on our Luxe.
You can get it on the Luxe.
Absolutely, and it's become very popular. They still want that look, right? That rugged, tough look. I get it. It looks awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, that can be put on this vehicle.
Cool.
But I do want to show what I was talking about, the high gloss Mercedes-Benz emblem.
That looks awesome.
The front grille being high gloss black. Just, I'm so happy with how this
Super
turned
stealth.
out. Yeah.
Super stealth. I love it. Now, it would be nice to have this also, but I know you
smoked.
Yeah, I know you cannot do that.
So
there's rules.
Expert upfitter, right? We do play by the rules.
Yes.
I highly encourage my customers to smoke that. That would be
it looks really
sharp.
Good. Yeah.
Yes.
But it still looks good like that.
It looks great. Looks great.
Absolutely. And then, like I think I was asking you, I'm about to wrap it up.
Yeah.
You can get this also blacked out, but that's a separate.
It's a special request. Like I said, it is a moving part. That's why it's not something we're going to automatically go to. So any point in contact, right, where we got a moving part, it is prone to chipping. So it's not something we want to push, right, for that very reason.
Right.
So by special request, understanding that you may have chipping in the future, we would help you out with that.
Very cool. Awesome.
Yes.
Thanks. Is there anything else that we want to get in here?
That's it. I'm exhausted.
Okay.
Now.
Yeah.
I got too excited.
Yeah. I think since we're going to talk about some of the inside stuff, pricing, stuff like that for people, tariffs.
Yeah. No. Sure. We had tons of German chassis, right? And I just let you know, right? A lot of that, we're almost out of all of our German chassis. We'll have to start buying from South Carolina. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Like I said, everything changes, right? It's always changing. But it's better for business, right, to do South Carolina now.
Okay.
That foreign trade zone, that we've had, great. We may use it again, right? But as of right now, we're going to put it on the back burner.
Okay, so you guys are adapting to what's happening currently. Okay. And what about price increases?
Price increases, we're actually staying in a lot of it.
Okay.
We're eating a lot of we understand the current marketplace right now is not the best when it comes to selling these vehicles right now. So to be just cordial to our customers and our dealers, we have not passed along those tariffs. We are eating them here at Midwest.
Okay, so. Good to know.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Ron.
Yep.
I appreciate it. I hope we got a lot of questions answered for the folks out there. Are we missing anything, Lola, before we get out? All right, awesome. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.